welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dilly and today I'm going to talk about nappies, or in America, diapers. Or actually more to the point, I'm going to talk about no nappies. My mother taught me a way of being able to get your babies out of nappies completely, both day and night, by the age of 2. Because my mum always had a toddler and a baby, and then as the baby became a toddler, the next baby was coming along. She had 5 of us. I'm the youngest of 5. She decided that she didn't want lots of terry nappies, which is what they used to use in those days, obviously. And they would have to boil them in a big bucket in order to get them sterilised and clean. She didn't want to do that. So what she thought was she would try and do, in effect, what animals do. Animals, once they've fed the babies, very often they will stimulate the puppies or the kittens or whatever it is by licking their parts in order to stimulate them wanting to go to the toilet. Now, I don't advocate anybody licking their baby's bum or anything else, but what you can do is put them into a position where there's a natural wanting to go to the toilet, wanting to eliminate after they've been fed. So from about the age of 6 to 8 weeks, she would take the baby and hold it in like a sitting position, so have the baby's back against her and have her hands under baby's legs and hold it over a potty. And because it was, we called it a cuppying position, so the baby was in effect cuppying down, as if like in the wild when we were cavemen, that's how we would have gone to the toilet. That's an automatic response in the baby. Baby's just been fed, got a full tummy, and now they're in the position that they can eliminate. So generally they do. The reason that you do it from so early is because it becomes such a natural thing for babies to be shown the potty or be held over the potty, that when they can sit on their own, you can sit them on the potty and they're not scared of it, they've got no issues with it, it's just something that they've always done. So of course, when baby is able to sit on their own, you feed them, you take their nappy off, you put them on the potty. Very often they will wee as well. Great, even better, you can, make the nappy last longer. By doing this, when the baby then is at a stage where they would normally be potty trained, if you like, at that stage they've been so used to being on the potty, going onto the potty for wees even, so once they get crawling and all that sort of thing and they're sitting on the potty and say, you can do a wee wee, and they'll try and do a wee wee, then they're needing to use their nappies less and less. So I continued with it because my mother had great success with it. Her eldest baby was 15 months when the second baby was coming along, and my eldest sister, her first baby, was clean and dry day and night by the age of 15 months. Just through using this method, through no forcing or anything else. And equally, each baby that came along was clean and dry by the age of 2. So I thought, because I was using terry nappies as well, I thought, right, I'm going to do that with my 2. Now, I had 2 boys to start off with, and they're 2 years and 2 weeks apart. But I tried this method with the eldest one from the age of about 6 weeks and held him over the potty, and of course he would eliminate in the potty, which means then you haven't got all the gubbins in the in the nappy that you have to try and get rid of. Obviously you can't catch it every time, but if you can catch 3 out of 4 poos in a day, then that's going to help. I wanted to use Terry nappies for my third baby, who came along quite a lot later. And I did start using Terry nappies with her, but she was actually allergic to the rubber pants that you wear over the, well, the babies wear over the top of their nappies to keep the moisture in and so on. So unfortunately I had to use disposables for her. Disposables are such a scourge on our environment and on the world, and the rubbish piles and everything else, and people put them down the toilet and God knows what else. So I didn't like using them, and I also, because she was my last one and because it was a long time after having the boys, I didn't use this method with her. I thought, oh, it'll be fine, I'll be able to get it. I can't see that it's not going to work later on. I tried to introduce her to the potty when she was sitting up. She wouldn't have it. In fact, she wouldn't have it until she was about gone too. And then we had trouble transitioning her from the potty to the toilet. So she actually wasn't out of her disposable nappies until she was about 2.5, which I know by some people's standards is quite quick, but not by mine. So with my boys, I did it with both of them. I did what my mother did, held them over the potty. As they got a little bit older and could sit on their own, I would sit them on the potty. 9 times out of 10, I would catch the poo. Very often I would catch a wee as well. Sometimes if they were having a kickabout with no nappy on, as we used to let them do then, I guess people still do, I would lift them up from their kickabout and hold them over the potty, and they would eliminate. Not necessarily poo, but they would wee. So a lot of the time I was saving on nappies, I was saving on washing, I was saving a lot of effort, and yeah, it worked. So then it came the point where they are crawling and so on and walking, and then they know already that poo means potty. I can remember once when the boys were having a bath, I used to put them in the bath together, and the eldest one had a wee and so on before he got in. The youngest one would have been about 9 months, and he was crawling all over the place, and I said, come on, we need to do a wee before you get into the bath. So I sat him on his potty. Have you done anything yet? No. Come on, you need to try and do a wee before you get into the bath. So he'd sit there and go, and I'd look, you still haven't done anything yet? I said, no good making the noises, you have to do the wee as well. Anyway, bless him, he didn't manage to do it. So I said, come on then, off to the bath. It just amuses me to think that he associated that straining with using the potty at that point. Very soon after that, he'd progressed to wanting to sit on the toilet. It was kind of, both boys actually asked. They wanted to progress. I can remember when I was pregnant with my second baby, and my first little boy was a coming up 2-year-old toddler, and I remember one night he was still in nappies at night time, not during the day at all. He was still in nappies at night time, and I remember hearing him getting out of bed, because he'd progressed to a bed then and wasn't in a cot anymore. I think, what's he up to? I got out of bed and followed him out, and he was at the toilet, and he managed to lift the lids up a little bit. He was standing there over the edge of the toilet having a wee. He'd pulled his nappy down, the front of his nappy down in order to be able to have a wee. So he'd woken himself up at night before the age of 2 to take himself to the toilet to have a wee. So I said to him the next night, well, because you didn't need your nappy last night, do you want to try this night with no nappy at all? Yes, please, Mummy. That was it. That was the last time he wore a nappy. And it was pretty much the same with the second little boy. And according to my mother, it was much the same with all her babies. My mum says that girls seem to be easier than the boys. Maybe it was just her girls. Certainly my girl wasn't, but then that's because I didn't use this method with her. In retrospect, I was an idiot. I should have. What did it cost me? Because if you put in a little bit of work at the beginning, you reap the rewards later on. It's like anything. It's like, I don't know, training a puppy. You put the work in at the beginning and you reap the rewards later on. They're a well-adjusted, socialised dog that can go anywhere and be in any situation. Whereas if you don't put the effort in right at the beginning, problems can occur. It's like in the garden. You reap what you sow. You put in all the effort at the beginning and then you get things back in abundance. And it's a bit like potty training. You put the effort in at the beginning and you get the rewards a bit later on. Not so very much later on. Think of the amount of money that you would save on disposable nappies if your baby was out of them by the age of 2. Think of how much you would save the environment. Or even if you were using terry nappies, think of the money of not having to wash them, in the hot wash and all that effort. And so it helps you, it helps them because they're not having to wear this great wodge and be sore and wee and poo next to their skin and so on. And the effect on the environment and your pocket is immense. So, yes, you have to put the effort in. Personally, and according to my mum, there is no comparison. If I had another baby now, if I was looking after another baby now, I would do it again. I don't think my sister did it with her babies. She used the method where you spend the whole day just doing potty training the whole day. Some people allocate a week or whatever where they concentrate on doing it. I'm not sure how old her children were when they came out of nappies, but they certainly weren't as young as 2. Oh, sorry about that. That was my dog sniffing the camera. And here he comes. Every time. So I just thought I would share that with you. Put a little bit of effort in at the beginning. Especially now. Now we're in lockdown. Now there's less nappies that you're able to get, apparently, because people have been stockpiling. Wouldn't it be great if you didn't need to use so many? Wouldn't it be great if you didn't need to spend so much money? Wouldn't it be great if you had your baby a little while ago and you're thinking, oh, flipping heck, changing the nappies and how long is this going to go on for, and it's such an expense, and oh, I know. I'll try the dilly method and I'll offer them to a potty earlier. Oh, look, instead of using 6, 8, 10 nappies a day, I'm down to 5. Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. Just a little thing that I was taught. Albert. Every time. So I shall love you and leave you. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye for now.